Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you is having a fantastic day wherever we are around the world. And welcome back to yet another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. And as the show does kick on, I haven't checked where the camera is. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, all of you are good. Hopefully, everyone's well. And welcome back to, like I said, another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. We are going to discuss mainly the breaking news from David Ornstein surrounding Darwin Nunez, get your guys' thoughts on it, get everyone's opinions on it. We'll talk, of course, about other things going on at the moment. We'll discuss a little bit about Tyler Morton. We'll talk about, of course, the Alexander Isak situation and what's going on with it, and get your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments, of course. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below, of course, in the comment section. But yeah, we are here to discuss mainly Darwin Nunez. Now, Darwin Nunez, according to David Ornstein, is reportedly the primary target for Al Hilal. That has been reported by David Ornstein from The Athletic. Of course, he's just come out about an hour ago or 2 hours ago, suggesting that, again, Al Hilal have made Darwin Nunez their number one target for the summer transfer window. So, again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. And I'm very intrigued to know your guys' thoughts on, is Darwin going to join the Saudi Pro League? I think it's a very interesting one, of course. Supposedly, Simeone Inzaghi is a huge factor in, of course, Al Hilal potentially going for Darwin as well. So we'll discuss all of that in due course as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. Of course, we will take a look at what David Ornstein has reported, as you guys can see on screen right now, as it does go on to say that Al Hilal identified Darwin Nunez as a priority target and stepping up efforts to sign Liverpool striker. No bid, but interest registered to Liverpool, plus Al Hilal plans to push for the 26-year-old accelerated internally Uruguayan international representative to the possibility. So again, Darwin is up for it. Now, I can't show you guys, obviously, but I can go into detail in what David Ornstein did put in his article, as it does go on to say that Al Hilal identified Liverpool's Darwin Nunez as a priority target. He does go on to say that Al Hilal have identified Darwin Nunez as their priority target to strengthen in attack and are now stepping up efforts aimed at landing the Liverpool striker. Nunez was wanted by another Saudi Pro League club, Al Nassr, during the January transfer window before Al Hilal were told the conditions of the deal after contacting Liverpool back in June. They heavily pursued Victor Osimhen, with Alexander Isak and Benjamin Sesko also the options considered. But given Osimhen has joined Galatasaray, while Isak and Sesko are looking unattainable, Nunez is emerging as Al Hilal's main focus, and internally they have accelerated plans to push for the Uruguayan international signing. Although Liverpool are yet to receive a bid, the interest has been registered, with the wheels are in motion at Al Hilal's end. He does go on to say that Nunez, 26, is viewed as a strong fit for the head coach Simeone Inzaghi system, and the 25-year-old is thought to be representative of the possibilities should it develop. Nunez joined Liverpool from Benfica in 2022 with a deal worth of 85 million euros. He's made 47 appearances in all competitions last season, scoring 7 goals, but started just 8 times for the Premier League champions. Liverpool strengthened in the forward areas this summer with the signing of Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. And of course, we know for a fact Liverpool are quite clearly in the race to sign Darwin Nunez as well. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments, because look, my instant thought when this news broke, because again we'll get it for Fabrizio Romano's report on it now, and of course Ben Jacobs as well, who again is pretty reliable when it comes to Saudi Pro League news as well. But from the article piece from David Ornstein himself, I think it's quite clear now the motions and the domino effect now is starting to come into effect, really, because again, the striker market is moving as one. Of course, Liverpool are going big for Alexander Isak at the moment. Everybody knows this. Again, you'd literally have to be on the moon to not realise that Liverpool want Alexander Isak. And it is coming into effect now, where, again, we'll talk a bit about him a bit later on. But, again, Benjamin Sesko, that deal at the moment. Again, Newcastle are pushing for that move in the next 24 hours as well. So again, the motions are going in there. And I know on a Liverpool side of things, again, there's reports going around of a 70 million euro valuation at the moment for Liverpool, which, again, if the Saudi Pro Leagues go up to that, then again, I'd be really, really surprised, me personally. But again, we know, of course, the Saudis have the money. If Liverpool value him at that rate, for me, and again, the deal could easily be done for that anyway. But I will quickly bring up to what Fabrizio Romano, of course, did also mention, adding alongside to David Ornstein's piece, as you guys can see on screen, as it does go on to say more on Darwin Nunez and Al Hilal's story from earlier this week. Understand Al Hilal manager Simone Inzaghi wants Nunez as priority target. It does go on to say Liverpool authorised Darwin to held talks with Al Hilal and also direct talks with Simone Inzaghi. No formal bid has been sent yet, but you would probably think in the next, 24, 48 hours, I think the deal might be accelerating, because I think Liverpool, again, Liverpool are having encouragement, really, to obviously go and get Alexander Isak, because Liverpool won't sell Nunez yet until I think all that is cleared up as well. I don't think we're going to just leave ourselves short, because again, let's not beat around the bush. Again, Liverpool only have Hugo Ekitike. If he was to sell Darwin Nunez, we haven't got anyone else really. Now I know, of course, Cody Gakpo can play there, but again, with one light on the left-hand side with Luis Diaz leaving the football club. So again, I think at the moment Liverpool, I think we'll hold off for now. But again, I think for right now, I think again the whole interest in Darwin Nunez, I think it will be a very quick resolvement. Really, I do think Darwin Nunez looks like he will be going to the Saudi Pro League after again, all of his hopes, really. I think not wanting to go from Europe, and I of course nearly got that deal done with Napoli, but of course Napoli and Liverpool's valuation was a massive part away, and it was a massive part away. It wasn't like if it was just a couple of £1 million, like it was, again, 10-20 million pound valuation, completely different, really. So again, with that being said, I think from a Liverpool point of view, I think, look, if they can get 70 million euros, then again, fantastic deal for Liverpool again, which, Liverpool, in my opinion, already has proven that they are the best selling club probably in Europe right now, not only just the Premier League. But let me get into the chat then. Again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. If you're new around here, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. Very much appreciated as always. But big up Cal as well, saying he will be gone finally. Good on him. He probably comes back to Europe after one season, like the Celtic Jota. Could very well do. I think that's a big possibility. But again, supposedly Simeone Inzaghi is a huge fan of his as well. So, look, in my opinion, I think it would be interesting to see what does happen there. But again, look, you look at Al Hilal. Of course, they've obviously played in the Club World Cup. They wanted Victor Osimhen. It was quite clear they wanted Victor Osimhen, and made ridiculous amount of offers towards him as well. So I think, look, Darwin's made it quite clear he wants to leave Liverpool. Similar like Luis Diaz, look, not kicking up a fuss and, not turning around and saying, I'm not going to play and I'm not going to perform for the football club, but he wants to move, and it's quite clear he wants to move, and that's fair enough. You can't argue with that. And of course, Liverpool want to sell as well. But big up Ozan as well, saying big up Con. Con, how much do you think FSG accept for Darwin? Knocking that SPL has deep pockets. Well, look, I think Liverpool will ask 70 million euros, which is what, 64 million pounds, 65 million pounds. That's how much I think Liverpool are asking for Darwin. But big up Philip as well. Hope you're doing well. Tasta says get Rodrigo on loan with an option to buy next season. Could still do. I think obviously once the Alexander Isak situation is sorted, I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool accelerate their position in terms of a centre half, and maybe before the window closes, we look at a left winger. The one thing is, though, the big problem with Rodrigo, it's simple. It is it's wage. It's wage based because who was it? Was it? Yeah, it was Arsenal. His agent had a meeting with Arsenal, and they asked who was the highest, one of the highest earners. Of course, Bukayo Saka. I think he's on like 350 base salary at Arsenal, and again, Rodrigo wanted around that. So you're talking Liverpool. That's probably going to be what, just below Mo and Virgil. I can't see Liverpool doing that. Even though I think Liverpool are about to offer Alexander Isak a huge contract, but with Rodrigo and his age, you'd most likely think that Liverpool would like to offer him a contract, like 200 grand a week. Whether or not he'd accept that is a different thing entirely as well. But look, of course, we'd have to wait and see what happens in that regard anyway. But look, in my opinion, I don't think Rodrigo will leave. I don't think he's going to leave Real Madrid. I think he'll stay one year and then have a look next year and realize that he hasn't got to move really. What else do we have? Nunez can just say he's not going. He knows they really want that money. Get him himself a few mil to leave as well. He will. I think Darwin will get a hefty amount. Let's not lie about this either. Darwin's going to get a huge amount of money. Big up Ian as well. Say, could AC Milan complicate Saudi deal for Darwin? Should Italian move be more appealing to him? No. And the reason why I would say no is purely because AC Milan cannot afford him. Now, AC Milan are out of Europe. They're out of the Champions League. They don't have European money, full stop. And yeah, they just wouldn't be able to afford him because, again, there was reports. I think Fabrizio Romano mentioned it. I think even Ben Jacobs talked about it, about how AC Milan have approached Liverpool about Darwin. But again, there's rumours about loan deals and that. And I think, once again, Liverpool don't want to loan Darwin Nunez. They want to sell him. There's no two ways around it. And I also think if there's the possibility of getting 70 million euros for Darwin, I think Liverpool try and accelerate that as quick as possible. I think they tried to do that with Luis Diaz, and of course, Saudis didn't come in for him. He wanted to go by Munich, and I think then the Saudi Pro League was like, yeah, we can't really justify matching the valuation, really. But look, I do think Darwin will go Saudi. I don't think AC Milan is an option as of right now. Anyway, but again, could be wrong. But I do think it will be Saudi deal for Darwin, even though I 100% agree with you, Ian. I think Darwin's preference is to stay in Europe, like I've mentioned in previous videos, but I do think he will go Saudi, just because of the money situation as well. But I want to quickly get at Ben Jacobs' comment. Of course, this does tie into, of course, Ian's comment, of course. But Ben Jacobs, of course, come out again. Ben Jacobs is very reliable on Saudi news. But he does say that Al Hilal are pushing for Darwin Nunez, as revealed last month. Al Hilal waited to formally approach Nunez until after the Club World Cup in a move driven by Simone Inzaghi. Al Hilal never in the race. Al Ahly, sorry, never in the race despite reports. Al Hilal focused on trying to agree terms with Nunez before bidding to Liverpool 70 million euros asking price. The same, sorry, I thought there was something behind me then. Same fee as Al Nassr bid in January, same flexibilities, possibilities with the right payment terms. Nunez has been training as normal ahead of Liverpool friendly against Atletico Bilbao on Monday. So it will probably be the same as what it was in Japan, most likely, with Darwin, whether or not he does go on to he does go on to train and then, of course, play. Who knows? I think if he plays tomorrow, I think that's a big indication that, again, Liverpool think he's going to stay for the next couple of days at least. But look, of course, with Liverpool playing twice tomorrow, again, Liverpool, I think, would be stupid not to play him because, again, if Al Hilal don't come in for him until the start of the season, Darwin Núñez is going to be unfit. He's not going to be ready or not able to play for Liverpool. So with that being said, I think, look, me personally, I think he will end up playing tomorrow. and they would have to see then what happens. Of course, a bit after, a bit after that in terms of, because again, obviously there's progression with Alexander Isak and other stuff as well. So look, at the moment, that's the point at the minute that we're at. But I think in an overall perspective, like I said to you guys, I do think now the domino effect is starting to happen with Darwin, with Isak, with with Sesko, Wisa as well, other players. The striker market is now finally starting to kick on, really, which, again, that's a good thing we've been waiting for. Anyway, but look, we'll have to wait and see. But what else do we have? Cal says he could go to MLS and join Suarez. Could you imagine? Like, that would be interesting. Big up CJ as well. I expect Darwin to play 2 seasons maximum in Saudi, then he ends up back in EuropeCon. Yeah, I would agree. I think, look, the problem is it could be like a proper John Duran as well. Let's not lie about this either. It could be where he goes to Saudi for a year, spends a year in Saudi, gets a loan move then to a European club. Could easily see it, and that's not me, having doubting Darwin, possible move to Saudi. But again, Darwin's only 26. He could spend 1 year in Saudi, move back to Europe. Then, yeah, it's a high possibility, because again, look at John Duran, for example. The Saudis are not. They're not sad that they're possibly going to make a loss on him either. Again, they don't want to lose money. Let's be perfectly honest, but it's unlike a European or a proper European club, where for a European club to buy somebody for 70, 80, 90 million pounds and then to loan them out then the next season, again, that would be disastrous for a football club. In Europe, it would be. And I think that's the difference, really, because look, they don't mind, or they don't have to struggle then for money or PSR or anything like that, do they? Because again, PSR is not even a thing in Saudi, I don't think. But what else we have? Pick up Simon as well, saying, what's the realistic Saudi money going to be? Will Rodrigo be a loan to buy deal? What's the need for a centre? What's the need on centre backs? Well, we need centre backs. Like, Liverpool still only have 3. That's the thing at the minute. Liverpool only have 3 fits, first team centre halves. Yeah, I think, look, Liverpool will buy one before the window closes, but it is taking a very long time before Liverpool are buying it. But of course, Liverpool are fully focused at the minute on the Alexander Isak deal. Think Sesko turns United, lad, can't lie. Possibly, like, again, I think, what is it, Craig Hope, obviously Newcastle correspondent. I think a lot of people are, of course, at the moment, wondering what is happening with Alexander Isak and what is happening mainly with Benjamin Sesko. Of course, that the whole Sesko deal is up in the air at the moment, because everybody's obviously waiting for his decision. I think a lot of Newcastle fans at the moment are getting a bit frustrated because, again, Sesko could be using, obviously, Newcastle to move United into gear. I think, look, from what, and again, I will read out what Craig Hope has said, because it does tie into the Alexander Isak stuff. But what he's come out and said, and again, this is in the last 40 minutes, he's come out and said this. He said the fact that Newcastle are pushing Benjamin Sesko with such gusto would tell you that they do expect Alexander Isak to move on, or certainly open to the possibility. So, with that being said, I think Liverpool, in my opinion, I think Newcastle just fully open to it now. And as soon as they do get a replacement, I think Liverpool will be all in for it. And that's the ideal thing at the moment. Again, talking about Darwin Nunez, obviously Ben Jacobs saying, in addition to Al Hilal, Milan have also made recent approach to, obviously, from what you guys mentioned earlier, but again, nothing confirmed or done in that sense anyway. But I think the the thing at the moment is that Liverpool will only agree to sell Darwin once the Isak stuff is 100% clear. Now, we should know in the next 24 hours what is going to happen with the Benjamin Sesko stuff. We should know, because there's reports that Newcastle have told Sesko's camp they have till tomorrow to decide on what they want to do, because I think even now, Newcastle, I think Ray Kobe even mentioned it, the belief within Newcastle is that Alexander Isak has played his last game for Newcastle United. That is the belief within the football club. That is good news for Liverpool. But of course, nothing will be done yet until there's a deal agreed that Newcastle have a striker. Now, with Newcastle, again, this is turning into a Newcastle transfer show more than a Liverpool transfer show. But what we know so far, judging from Craig Hope and other reporters as well, Newcastle have these players on the list. And again, I've got them on my phone. They've gone Goncalo Ramos, Nunez, Ollie Watkins, and that's their main three options. Again, Nicholas Jackson's also a part of that list, but Nicholas Jackson is very unlikely to happen. So again, the three big names, Goncalo Ramos, my head went blank then, Nunez, and Ollie Watkins. They're the three names apart from Benjamin Sesko that they are looking at the present moment in time. But look, can they get any of them done? Who knows at this point, really, because Newcastle are having an absolute shocker of a window. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I think they're having an absolute May at the present moment in time. But look, if they hopefully they do get Sesko. And with the rumours of them bidding again, I would probably turn around and go that, look, they are most likely going to go and sign Benjamin Sesko. But with that also being said, they also bid for Hugo Ekitike, and Ekitike was nowhere near agreeing a deal to sign for Newcastle United. So unlike Liverpool or potentially even Chelsea or City, when they put a bid in for a certain player, of course, over time, it does come out that, look, they've agreed terms with said player. I think with Newcastle at the moment, they are bidding without a total agreement with the player. And I think, in my honest opinion, I think what Newcastle have done, they have put the bid in to try and pressure and try and push forward the progress of Sesko and his decision making to go on to move on. I think personally, Liverpool will get Isak. It could possibly take the end of the window to get him, but for Liverpool, we need to do other business and not only just Isak, because we could be in trouble by doing that. Because if we put all of our attention and focus into Isak, we need a centre half, possibly even another winger as well. Maybe Arne Slot might look at the squad and go, oh, maybe I do need an extra attacker because I've lost Luis Diaz. I'm going to lose Federico Chiesa as well. Maybe we do need one more at the moment. But I think as of right now, of course, we still have 4 weeks left of the window. I think Liverpool are looking at that at the moment, in my opinion. Anyway, but like I said, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. But what else do we have? Losing 100 mil for them is like losing 10 quid for us regular people. Yeah, true. That is very true. But Sunderland are having a better window than Newcastle, 100%. They've made great signings. I think Granit Xhaka is a really, really good signing for Sunderland. Joe Linton against Granit Xhaka, I would automatically, if anybody put a bet on, have one of them two to get sent off for your hacker, whoever. But yeah, both of them I think will get sent off as well. But Sam says apologies. Meant to say what centre back options do you see Liverpool going for? I'd love Luke Kieba, but if Isak and Rodrigo comes in, it's not happening. Look, if Liverpool sign Isak, we are signing a centre half. That's being cleared already. Because again, Liverpool will buy Isak, and then the funds really from Nunez and other players will be used on a centre half. Then I think we go after Mark Gahey, or at least look at him. But I would also not be surprised if we signed the Wolfsburg centre half. Again, do not ask me to pronounce his name. Of course, the Greek centre half. I think Liverpool have scouted him massively over the last 12 months. And yeah, I think Liverpool, for me, will look at him as well. So, look, we'll have to wait and see. But CJ says, can't wait to watch us tomorrow. To be fair, in the new kit. Yeah, looking forward to it. I was meant to be going to the game, but unfortunately, I'm not now. But yeah, no, I'll be looking forward to seeing them in the new Adidas kit. Hopefully, my Adidas kit comes tomorrow. Hopefully, but they want if they want Ramos, might as well take Nunez as well. Yeah, no, they won't do that. I heard last week an article from someone close to the Newcastle deal already done 130 mil, 6-year deal, 889 base salary. Newcastle want it kept quiet. It is probably not so much agreed, but it is probably conversations going on that there is slowly an agreement being put in place between Liverpool and Newcastle, because I tweeted it out that Newcastle, especially Newcastle journalists as well, tried to paint Liverpool as the villains, and tried to paint us as, the bad guys now in this story, and try and do that tactic of like, Liverpool are the evil ones. Liverpool bid or lowball, Newcastle in the £110 million bid. Look, Liverpool opened up the conversations for Isak. We have, and don't get me wrong, I think Liverpool just testing the waters, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I think everybody saw through that as well last week, because what was quite ironic as well was Newcastle put that bid in for Sesko. I think a lot of people then started to look at it and go, oh, well, it got rejected. And of course, obviously, RB Leipzig's wording was insufficient. So, of course, a lot of people winding Newcastle up by saying, they lowballed Leipzig. Of course, it was pretty much what they asked for. But in all sense of things, of course, Newcastle is just funny at the moment, isn't it? Because Newcastle just, Newcastle fans in particular as well are just like rage baiting at everything. Like, you could say something good about the football club and like bang, like instantly they're at your throats. So yeah, no, in terms of your question, Simon, I think a conversation has been had in terms of an agreement, but again, nothing is done as of right now. I would say, at least anyway. But like I said to you guys, ever since the whole Isak stuff has come out, I've said to you guys, I think Liverpool get him. There's been no doubt in my mind that Liverpool get him. But can't be done when they literally rejected a low ball from us the other day as well. It will be done. Look, I think the final price for Isak will be £135 million. That's just my prediction for it. It will be 135 mil. There won't be a sell-on clause, because look, when Liverpool do sell Alexander Isak, or if Liverpool sell Alexander Isak, it won't be for much, will it? Really? But yeah, no. Look, I think it gets done. Ramos would be perfect for Newcastle, and I'm sure PSG would sell both. Having said it, the problem is with that, right? I think somebody made a great point earlier on. In terms of there's plenty of people that are looking at the PSG squad and going, why is nobody taking Kolo Muani? And Kolo Muani was a decent player of Frankfurt, and a decent player at PSG for a period of time. And people are like, why is he not going? Of course, he had a good spell on loan at Juve. I think Juve fans have said that they wanted to sign him. But I think as well, just judging from what PSG and PSG and Juve fans have said, supposedly Kolo Muani wants to go to Juventus. So, again, if that's another option, then of course that's another option in itself. But look, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Isak goes to Barca or PSG next year. Totally disagree with you, CJ. Totally disagree with you, my friend. Look, when he signs, I'll be at your door, mate. No, I'm joking. Remember, we only hearing news. There's probably a week off. Clubs don't give running commentary. True. That is very, very true, Simon, as well. I think the other thing, though, as well, obviously the Isak, not Isak. The Isak news that broke a couple of days ago, that was very recent and new. But the one thing I would also say as well, a lot of the stuff that's coming out, like the whole Liverpool approach, came out from Isak's camp, didn't come out from Newcastle, and definitely didn't come out of Liverpool. When Liverpool were, of course, trying to sort everything out, we wanted to get Ekatike done first. And then, of course, we asked about Isak, but then that started the ball going. That then it pretty much scared Newcastle because, don't get me wrong, Newcastle, like, because people go, oh, he's not for sale, and this, that, and the other. Like, look, Newcastle now, their stance right now by their number one journalist is that they are, like, they already are having thoughts that Isak is done at Newcastle. Again, this whole conversation of, oh, well, Isak's returning back to training. And then you've got Eddie Howe coming out in the press conference after their game today and saying you have to earn your way, you have to earn your right to train. That relationship is over, already. Even if Isak did go back to Newcastle and went, oh, okay, I want to train. But just judging from Eddie Howe's language, he's not going to accept that. He's not going to do that either. So look, in my opinion, that relationship's already done. I think for Liverpool, it is now just the sense of, getting the deal done, when you can, because of course Newcastle have to get replacements in. And that's been the sense from the start in its entirety, is that Newcastle have to get replacements in before they let Isak go. It's as simple as that, and it's going to happen. They've made it quite clear. Newcastle's plan at the moment is to get their big ticket number 9. Is to get their big ticket number 9, which is hopefully going to be Benjamin Sesko, and then they'll go and get Wieser as well. But yeah, don't get it wrong as well. In the next 2 weeks, if things go the right way, Liverpool will get Isak done. That's all I'm saying. But as I'm not true, how said they rejected a bid the other day, so it's up to date. No, some things are. The problem is some things are up to date, other things are like a week or two behind. Like Liverpool with who was it? Like Luis Diaz, for example. The whole Bayern inquiry about Lucho was weeks in advance before anybody really knew. Before anybody knew Liverpool had rejected certain things as well. But don't listen to the clicks. These clubs are businesses today. They tell the journalists what they want to tell you to the fans. Well, that is true. That is 100% true. How do you know that is the point, though? CJ, because do you ever hear? Yeah, no, they do. They slowly feed out information how they want to. Yeah. It's like with the Isak stuff. Like I just said, it wasn't Liverpool and it wasn't Newcastle that told the reporters. Again, a lot of what Fabrizio Romano says, a lot of what David Ornstein could say as well, a lot of it is is agents. Now, I would say it's more so with Fabrizio Romano than it is with David Ornstein. I think David Ornstein confirms it with like 3 different sources before he does release stuff out. But I think when it comes to Fabrizio Romano will get it from an agent and then just put it out, for example. Because again, look at, was it a couple of years ago? Look at the Caicedo stuff. All of that was coming from Caicedo's agent. And the whole Liverpool being dragged into that story was due to Moises Caicedo and Fabrizio Romano. I don't care what anybody says about that. Like, Fabrizio Romano played his part in that transfer. Because again, Chelsea took forever for it. And Liverpool were genuinely interested in Caicedo because at the time he was probably the best DM to go out and get in Europe. And in my opinion, if Liverpool had encouragement to go and get him, I think at the time Liverpool would have 100% got the deal done. No questions about it. But again, Liverpool were played at that time. The same with Zubimendi, for example. But that whole Zubimendi situation, that was just because of Arsenal and Arteta and other bits and pieces going around at the moment as well. So, look, Bremner asked, I think, if I'm being honest, right, I would have liked Zubimendi at Liverpool last year, but watching him for Sociedad more in depth and judging what from Arsenal fans have said already, I think if you press him to death facing his own net, he's terrible. I think at Anfield, I think third game of the season, I don't think they play Zubimendi DM. I think they play Rice DM, and they'll play Marino and they'll play Odegaard, because I think if you watch him, is back towards goal. But if he's facing the goal and he has to turn again, if he gets pressed by Wirtz or Bosley, again Zubimendi will get butchered. And I'm going to call that now, and anybody can clip this up as well. That will be how Liverpool beat Arsenal at Anfield in the third game of the season. You press Zubimendi to death, and he can't hack it. United did it, and look how bad United are at pressing. Imagine a team that's actually counter-pressing machines in Liverpool. It's going to be a long day for Arsenal at Anfield, and I'm looking forward to it as well. But what else we got? But big up F as well, saying absolutely. Big up Owen as well. Hope you're doing well. Saying Newcastle just trying to save face in front of their fans. Yeah, look, they're very much painting us as the bad guys, aren't they, Owen? At the moment, I'd be very surprised if by the end of it, Newcastle. Look, I hope to wake up tomorrow morning with the news that they've signed Sesko, or Sesko has said yes to Newcastle, because that then massively accelerates Liverpool's move for Isak. Absolutely, 100%. And do you know what? That's going to be. I think Liverpool will accelerate massively for him as well. It's not even going to be a question of waiting and hoping. I think it is going to be the case of Liverpool just going full pedal to the metal and trying to get the deal done, in my opinion. But look, when that bid comes in, it's going to be one hell of a day. But there are two guys to follow: the Ornstein and Joyce. Why? Because it's Liverpool related, and it's the club relaxed for them to speak their words. The rest of them, as you know, said being told or being used by agents. I would look. My top tiers are athletic, anything athletic related, you can trust in some capacity. Joyce, Lewis Steele. I would even put James Pearce, and I would put David Lynch in the categories as well. But again, Romano, like I said, even though you do trust Romano, sometimes you do have to take something with a pinch of salt sometimes, or just wait until you get the 29 tweets that he tweets out. Anyway, but one thing I wanted to mention as well before, I haven't got the slide for it, I forgot to add it on. But one thing I wanted to say though as well is, of course, let's talk about Tyler Morton. Now, Tyler Morton's going to be leaving Liverpool as well. He won't be playing tomorrow by the looks of things, because he does have an agreement with Lyon. Now, if Owen's in here, of course, Owen lives out in France, so Owen will probably know a lot more than me. But Tyler Morton to Lyon is a done deal. £15 million, I believe it is. It could be euros, but I think it's pounds as well. Of course, Paul Joyce did tweet it out. So again, obviously, like we talked about, reliable. But yeah, Paul Joyce, obviously reporting on it. 15 million euros, 20% sell-on clause as well, which is great news for Liverpool. I think, look, for Tyler Morton, it's great. I think it will be great for him to have, obviously, first-team football, which is fantastic, and, of course, a team that is now back in European competition and, of course, back in the French league. Again, it's great news in that sense. But, look, I think for me, the selling Tyler Morton is the right idea. I do think Tyler Morton, though, if the cards are played right in front, I think could even become a good option for Liverpool in the future. But unfortunately, he's never going to get that game time ahead of Ryan Gravenberch. And when there has been probably an opportunity for him to to maybe make his mark in that team, he's always been, or just unfortunately been injured at the time, so he hasn't really been given an opportunity to really cement his place in the team, or at least, in the second team then, really. So I think, of course, hopefully he does well out in France. Again, good move for him, absolutely. But yeah, hopefully we'll have to see. But what else do we have? I've heard from Terry Flowers, Jesus Christ, today. He is 70-30. Yeah, don't listen to Terry Flowers. Again, waffler. Yeah, never listen to Terry Flowers. Romano and Ornstein, clearly the two being told first. Yeah, they always do. That's why they are the top dogs in the market. But to be fair, Romano broke the Chiesa one very quick. Yeah, no, they will. Again, there'll be different stories. Like, again, tonight now, David Ornstein was the first on Darwin Nunez. Again, obviously other journals have come out, regarding it as well. And that's the case. There'll be different exclusive from different journalists. But again, that's what makes, these journalists the top in their field. And look, they are really, really good as well. But the rest of those two on Twitter notifications then say their source. Yeah, possibly. Hang on. Do I rate Captain Obvious? Who's Captain Obvious? Put him in the same bracket as James P. Yeah, who's Captain Obvious? Who are you on about, Simon? I have no idea. Terry who? Again, what channel does Terry do? Football Terrace. You guys go check them out. Chat absolute waffle. Again, like you could probably go. You could probably go and check Terry Flowers. What the last, 20 players you've said is going to a certain team, probably one of them have probably actually gone to the team, and that's the thing. I don't think, just don't listen, if I'm being perfectly honest anyway. But look, we are going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Now tomorrow, of course, with Liverpool playing, we might do a watch along on the channel. Now we might end up doing it. Now, what my plan is, we could do a watch along from, let's say, like 5 o'clock, all through watching both games. That's a possibility as of right now. But if not, we could probably do post match afterwards, talking about both games in general. So that would be around 10 o'clock possibly, because again, obviously the first game kicks off at 5, the second one at 8 o'clock. So at the moment, it might be, we will have to wait and see what I can do tomorrow. But that's going to be tomorrow's episode for you guys. So we'll just mainly be about the game. Of course, tomorrow, hopefully, of course, get to see obviously the boys in the new kits as well, which is great news. As well, get to see Liverpool's new number 7, new number 30, new number 6, and new number 12 as well. But hopefully, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for that, and hopefully I'll be wearing my kit as well on stream. But of course, not full kit, but just the shirt. But like I said, let me know your guys' thoughts if you are watching on the repeat as well. The news about Darwin Nunez, of course, Al Hilal are targeting Darwin Nunez, and that could be a deal that could be again done quick. Yeah, I'm not going to put that on stream, Cal, but yeah, no, I'm not one of them. Absolutely not. No, I bought the home kit with the long sleeves, or the long jersey kit. I call it kit still. You guys know what I mean anyway. But yeah, again, why wouldn't you buy an Adidas kit? It looks absolutely gorgeous. The home and the away one, to be fair. I think I've really got to like the away one. But yeah, look, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway on the Darwin Núñez situation. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some breaking news regarding Isak and other bits and pieces as well. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. But I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ta-ra.